Hi, welcome to my video on review 2 of the maximum minimum word problems, and this review is on the videos 5 and 6, which is minimum problems. And again, this one is marked out of 9, so you can give yourself a score of 9 to see how well you're going to do. The question: a company produces an aluminum box with square base, no top, and 3 sides, and the volume is 24 cubic centimeters. The material costs $4 a square meter for the bottom and $3 a square meter for each side. Find the minimum cost of producing the box. So, producing a box, so the box is this shape. It's what we call a rectangular box, and let's always not exact on this drawing. Okay, there's the box, but it says that the box has a square base, so let's make the base a square, so the length and width of the base of the box is x, and x is a square, and we don't know the box got a height, so we'll call h for the height, because the height could be the same or might not be the same. So we do know we have a square on the bottom, and we don't know what the height is, so we call the height h. And it has no top, and it only has 3 sides. But it does make a difference. Like, we could take the end out of this box right here, and not, because all the sides, the front, this side, and the back here, and this one here, these are all the same. So, but I got only 3. So that means if you're going to make the aluminum box, that means, let's look at the area. The area, the bottom of the box is a square, so the bottom of the box is x squared. The side of the box is again, we say it is length times width is a rectangle, so it's x times h, because again, we don't know that the height is the same as the x, so this is a rectangle here. And we have a cost, so how much is it going to cost to do the bottom of the box? So the bottom of the box is $4. So the cost, if you think about it, the cost is the rate times the area. The rate times the area. So we take the rate of $4 a square meter, and we multiply by x squared. This is in meters squared. The meters squared cancels out, and we end up with 4x squared as the cost. And the cost of the side is $3. So we get our rate, which is $3, multiplied, it's $3 per square meter, multiplied by xh square meters. Again, the square meters cancels out, and we get 3xh as how much it costs to produce one side. But we want the total side. We want the total cost. So the total cost is made up, the area is made up of the bottom plus 3 sides. So that means the bottom, cost of the bottom is 4x squared, and it has 3 sides. So one side is 3xh. So that means that if you got 3xh times 3, you got 9xh and 4x squared. So this is the total cost to build this box. But notice the cost C is in terms of x and h here. So it's hard to do when we have 2 variables. We haven't learned how to handle this. So we know we know that the volume of the box is length times width times height. So the volume of the box, we said the volume of the box was 24. So 24, the length times the width times the height. So 24 equals x squared plus h. So if I solve this equation here for h is equal to 24 over x squared. So that means, because the h is a function of x, that means I can go, the cos is 4x squared plus 9x, and h becomes 24 over x squared. So the cos is 4x squared, and the x cancels out, so I get 4 times, or should I say 9 times 24 is 216 over x. So x cancels into x squared. X is on the bottom, so I get the cos is now in terms of x. So I leave that like that. But the cos, I don't want to leave it like that because I'm not used to having a fraction. So 4x squared, and that's 216, and this is x to the negative 1, because I know how to do derivative in terms of an exponent. So we need to do the derivative. So this is the cost in terms of x. So the c prime, which is the derivative of the cost in terms of x, is 8x. 4 times 2 is 8, decreased by 1. And we get a negative 1 times 216, negative 216. And we decrease the negative 1 by 1, that's a negative 2. So if we make our derivative equal to 0, we'll find the value of x, which will give us the minimum cost. So we make our derivative equal to 0, so 8x minus 216, x to the negative 2 equals 0. So that's 8x minus 216 over x squared equals 0. So the LCD is x squared. So I'll multiply x squared by all terms. So 8x times x squared is 8x squared. And x squared times 216 over x squared, the x squared is cancelled out, and I get a negative 216. 0 times x squared is 0. So that's 8x squared equals 216. And divide by 8. Oh, 8. Did I say? Oh, x squared times 8x is 8x cubed. I almost made that error again. Be careful. X times x squared is x cubed. So I divide by 8. So x cubed equals 8. 216 divided by 8 is 27. So x equals the cube root of 27. So x equals 3. So x is the value. So we want the minimum cost. So the cost is right here. So 4, 3 squared plus 216 over x. So I have 4. 3 squared is 9. Oh, that's a 3 there. Didn't put my 3 in. Divide here, and I get a 72. So it's 4 9s are 36 plus 72. I get a 108. And that's the cost. The cost is, that's $108 for every linear foot, which is in terms of x. And we have the problem done. Hope you understand. But if you wanted to, you could also get the dimensions of the box. Well, let's look at the box. So there's the dimensions of the box. So x is 3, and x is 3, and the height was 24 divided by x squared. So that's 24 divided by 3 squared. 3 squared is 9. So the height is 3 into 24 is 8, and 3 into 9 is 3. So the height was 8 over 3. or I mean, you didn't need to do that. I'm just showing you this. I did the cost going this way because I had to. Once I got X, I sub X in here and I got the cost. But if I want the bottom, the dimensions is 3, 3, and 8 root 3. Again, multiply 3 times 8 root 3. So 3 times 3 times 8 root 3. The 3's cancel, and I get a 24. So it fits. Everything is okay. And there's 9 marks here. So if you have this done, right here you got a mark. If you did your cost, you got a mark. If you did the this for the total cost of bottom and 3 sides, and if you got your volume correctly in terms of X, you subbed it in, you got here, and you did your derivative. So everywhere you go through, you get marks, and you get the 108. So 9 marks are distributed throughout. So hopefully you understand, and so that brings us to the end of the unit on maximum and minimum word problems level 2. And if you like my video, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button, visit my math website www.mathfullyexplained.com to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. The content is on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained, just one word. Thank you for viewing my video. Hope the video helped you. Bye bye.